All right, folks. Steve Alcorn here with you once again. We're going to try another Fix It or Fail video. Remember, I don't know what I'm doing. Please don't try this at home. If you break something, it's not my fault. I'm just goofing around trying to fix things to sell on eBay or just fix to have around the house. I don't know if you can see, but I've been working on some GameCube consoles over there. They have a faulty door switch on them, which is a very easy replacement. You just take the lid off, and I'll probably have to buy the part. I don't know how much it is, but I was trying to fix the actual switch, but I wasn't able to do it. So I'll see if I can buy some spares on that one, or repair parts or whatever. But today we're going to work on this PS2. I found this in my son's closet. Just don't. This is not a how-to video. Please don't think it is, because I really don't even know if this is going to work. I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm clueless when it comes to this stuff. But the problem I'm having with this particular PS2 is that it's not powering on. So I'm going to plug it in so I can show you. And I'll watch it power on. That would be awesome if it did. I found this in my son's closet. No, nothing. Not doing anything. What I did notice is that this jack back here is really super loose. If you notice, I have one that's marked for parts because this one doesn't work. It has the same jack and it's fairly tight. So I'm thinking it's just this jack. So what I'm going to do is take this apart and get the jack out of that one. Hopefully it's the same one, because they are probably different models. This is the 79001, and this one somebody's taken the sticker off, so it's probably been opened before. There's usually a little security sticker across here or here, and I don't see it anywhere, and this big sticker down here has been taken off. Before you open one of these, there's 6 screws in the bottom, and they have these little caps on them. 2 back here are rubber, but the rest of these are little plastic caps, and just a little tiny flathead screwdriver will pop those off. And these look to be some sort of star bit, which I don't have, but this nasty old screwdriver seems to work. I started turning them just to see if they turn, so we're going to try to take them all out and see what happens. Yeah, it turns them, so as long as it turns them, but there's some sort of star bit or Torx bit or something, so if you're trying to do this on your own, you might, if you have a bit set. I do, but it just happens to be missing a couple, and I have no clue why, because I didn't use them. So I don't know where they went, but somebody used them. But this little kind of, I don't know if you can see it, but the tip is kind of rounded off, and that's probably why this particular screwdriver works. It's not a very good screwdriver, but it is working for this procedure. So I have not opened this one before. I've opened this one, but it was missing parts when I bought it. For some reason, it still worked, sort of. It read discs, but not all the time. And when I opened it up, it was missing a slew of parts, so I don't even know how the daggone thing worked. Okay. So I have opened one of these before, and what I've noticed is it catches on this side. It seems to be easier to open here. And kind of, oh, okay, well that works. It just came right off. There's a little broken piece of something in there. Doesn't look like it's affecting anything. This is your power switch here. And back here, there's another little tiny switch. And if this switch isn't pushed, you'll never get any power. So the first thing I'm going to try is, because we had that little broken part, and I don't know where it came from, don't do this at home, folks. You should not power it thing up when it's okay, so that's still not, no red light, no nothing. It says 6918. I know that's not when it was made, so I'm just going to push on a few things here just to see if we get any. That is okay, there we go. It is that jack. I might just be able to solder that back down. I don't know if you can see the red light, but when I wiggled the jack, so now let's try to keep that. There's another button back here that is for your lid closed. This one didn't have it, I don't know if it was removed, but we'll see if we even got any movement in the laser. Not seeing any. Oh, well, first we probably have to turn the dang thing on for real. That doesn't have to be up. There we go, we got a green light, so that's a good sign. Okay, I'm trying to see if this is gonna move. Alright, so this one might actually read discs, that's good. So it looks like all we have to do is check on this power button here, which is a great thing. I tried to do that without the lid on, or with the lid on, and it didn't do anything. So I'm just checking for dirt and hair and things like that. I don't want to mess with the laser today. I do have spares, but I don't want to mess with it. So we're going to turn this back off. We're going to turn it back on just to make sure it comes on. This will not operate unless this button back here is pushed. It's not operating. It was a minute ago. You guys seen it operate, right? Oh, that's because both buttons have to be pushed. Okay. Well, you learn something new here every day. This button here and this button back here both have to be pushed before that laser will operate. Alright, unplug it. I'm going to look and see if we can get in without taking all this crap off, but I'm going to assume we have to take it all off. I'm going to plug in my soldering iron, get it started. Warmed up. I bought this soldering iron pretty cheap off of Amazon, $35, but it came with flux, it came with everything. Now the flux that I got I don't like. It's that paste type. Oh, my sponge is missing. I'll have to find that. We're going to put this around 300. That's at 450. It's probably too much. We'll start out lower. Get that warmed up. I'll have to get some water on my sponge, which fell down here on the floor. So I'll be right back. All right, went and got some water on my sponge. Got some hair on it. We'll just leave that set, and we'll try to figure out how this thing comes apart. I see a screw here. And that's the only one I see. There's two holding the fan down. So we're going to try this one first. This is just a regular Phillips. I may have to switch screw. No, it actually worked on there. Okay, this holds in like your memory card slot. Okay, might have to unplug some things. This is your power button here. So that can come undone. It's just a small ribbon cable. Everything else is attached to the board, it looks like. There's a little... This is some sort of safety thing, I think they called it. Hey, look at that, it's coming right out. I don't even have to do anything. Alright, ooh, pretty dirty, and now we'll clean that up. So let's see what we got going on here. Yep, the solder's just broken. Looks pretty good otherwise, so I'm going to get some flux and just reflow it. Maybe add some new solder. Stuff anybody can really do if you really put your mind to it. It's not that hard a concept to do this sort of thing. So, oh, there's my brush. Okay, just a little small brush. I don't really like this solder paste. I've ordered some liquid solder, which is probably better for this type of work, but it is what it is. So we're just going to put some flux on there just to get that ready to flow again. First things first is we're going to tin. I've learned a lot of things since I started trying to do this stuff. And the first thing is you got to tin your soldering iron. Even though I worked in an electronics facility for a long time, a long time ago. I had forgotten things like that, so I might actually need a little more heat. What's that? Oh, there it goes. And the tin dish soldering iron, you just get some solder on it and kind of clean it off a little bit. It just helps everything flow better. And kind of it makes it shiny. Get some on that side there. We do this a couple of times. And I may be doing it wrong, but at least it's working. It's working for me. So, I'm going to go in here. There's 3 little contacts there. It looks like this big one here, the mounts on is broken, so we're going to actually have to turn the heat up a little bit because it doesn't seem like it's quite high enough. I put it up at 400. Looks like this one is the one that broke. So I'm just going to solder that back in. Doesn't seem to want to. Put a little solder on the tip, maybe get it started. There we go. Like I said, I'm not a professional. I really don't know what I'm doing. But I did solder for a little while. I didn't really know what I was doing. I just knew I was soldering. So I got good at the actual art of soldering, but it doesn't mean I really know what I'm doing. I just know how the solder works, and the stove must not be hot enough, or these are just very thick. And I probably got the wrong tip on here. There we go. Got it to reflow. Probably didn't need to put new solder on these, but I'm doing it anyway. Okay. You don't want to heat it up too much because you'll burn the board, and that's not a good thing. That I do know. Anyway, like I said, this kit, it came with a bunch of tools. This was in there. This soldering iron was in there. It's not the greatest. It's just a cheapie, but it's better than what I had, and it works. So that's all that matters. So the next step is some rubbing alcohol. I'm going to try the brush method this time instead of the toothbrush. Just a regular paintbrush. I got at Walmart. They're stiff bristled brushes, but I can get in there a little bit better, I think, with that. Clean that all up. Seems like it's cooled down already. Solder cools down pretty quick. Let's get a napkin and dry that off. Make sure it's all dry. And my soldering ain't perfect, but it feels a lot more sturdier, so we're going to plug it back in. I'm just going to set it in here for now. Now, we took a non-working PS2, and we're going to be able to sell this here. I have controllers and stuff to go with it. Actually, it looked like it went in this way. So, when you put this back in, these ports go in first, and then it just drops in, it looks like. Okay, let's... Moment of truth. It only works with the power button. So that power button just plugs right into this little... I don't know if you can see it. Get this out of the way here. Right here is where the little power button ribbon cable goes in. We're going to unplug that. The power button just sits down in this little... There's a little slot for it right in here. I can remember how it goes. That button has to be up. Alright, how do you go in there? Is that it? Watch me fail on just putting this thing back in. Oh, it must go way further over. Oh, it goes way over here like that. Okay, that's why I couldn't do it. Alright, so now we're going to try to do this just by putting it right in there. Hopefully we don't have to use any special tools. It might actually be easier to take that out and just go straight down in. And I'm just inspecting it to make sure there's nothing wrong with it. And we're going to set that right back down in that slot. This one doesn't seem to have any, pull-ups or things that need to be situated to get this ribbon in and out. It's just a straight push and pull. There it goes. Okay, set that back down in place, and now we're going to plug her back in. Get this stuff out of the way. I had lost the lid to my isopropyl, so I was using this blue lid, but I found it when I was... Oh, look at that, it turned right back on. Jiggly. I found it when I was looking for my sponge anyway. Jiggly. Doesn't seem to do anything wrong. So now let's test the operation of the laser. Push this one, push this one. Well, first I think we have to turn it on. Then we push that one, and then we push this one. So that looks all good. Alright, so next step is to clean it up a little bit and put it back together. I'll just put it together. Actually, you know what? I'll put it together first. Throw some cords on it. I'm not actually screwing it together, just putting the lid back on. We'll plug it in, see if I have some cords and power. I have power and a controller, and then we'll go ahead and test this thing on the TV and see if it works. Let's see, controller. Making a lot of noise over here. I don't have a controller. There's a controller. And I just saw some AVs. There's some AVs. So I'm just plug this into the TV real quick. Do I have a game to put in it? Yeah. And I don't know if you guys will be able to see the TV, but if you can't, then I'll switch it. Oh, this GameCube already plugged in. Okay. Remember, guys, I'm an amateur at this. I have really no clue. I mean, yeah, I do know how to solder a little bit, but I don't know anything about electronics. It's just that I worked in a facility where that's my job, was to solder things for a while, for about a year. So, just because I know how to do that part of things, first we're just going to pop a game in and see if it reads. Let's see, what do I got here? Madden 11. I don't even know if that game's any good, but we're going to find out. Turn the TV on. The disc is spinning, that's a good sign. Alright, I'll show you the TV over here. I'll get you off my stand here. The TV should be right there. I'm not seeing anything on the TV. See, oh, there it is. Look at that. That PlayStation works. Look at that. That's a fix, guys. So, I'll put this back down over here. I'll put this back together. It says no memory card. I'm not even going to test the controller part yet. Well, maybe I should, huh? Let's test that controller part. I actually have... Oh, shoot. The one thing you probably shouldn't do is try to lift that off while you're... probably just ruin that game, but the game I don't care about so much. Alright. I don't know if you heard that PlayStation startup. Okay, the controller's working. There is no data. Well, I know that. I'm gonna pop that disc. The disc kind of popped itself out of place when I lifted that up, so I'll try this one more time. The Sony symbol's coming up, switching to the other screen. Let me show you. PlayStation 2 came up. Sorry about the desk. It's a little messy right now. I've been playing with this stuff. And there's the game. So now we're going to try the controller operations as soon as that comes up. It says no memory card. I might have to put one in. But the controllers seem to be working. Continue without saving. So, alright, I'm not going to play any further because I don't want a copyright complaint, but you guys can see that that actually worked. So now I'm going to unplug this so we don't get any copyright problems here. And might already get a copyright complaint with that EA Sports. Might have to cut that part out. If I cut a little bit out, it's because I don't want a copyright problem. So the next thing to do is simply get rid of all these cords and take this lid back off and just give this a good little bath on the inside. Underneath this board here. Seems like it came out better this way. I'll just leave that right on there. Underneath here it's good. I'm not going to clean all this stuff. It looks alright. I just want to get all this dirt out of here. Now this is, oh, that's neat. I didn't know those were a separate piece. Or that might be broken. Looks like it's where you screw it in. It's a separate piece. Does it go under the board? And that might have been part of our problem too. I don't know where that goes. I do know it goes here. So we'll have to figure that out. Okay, the other one's like that, so it just sits down in there. I did not know that. That is interesting. I did not know those came out. Alright, so to do this part, we're just going to get our brush. Where did I put it? Probably over here. I think I'll actually use the toothbrush on this one because it's bigger. Or alternatively, I could just use a rag. My rags are a little dirty right now, so I'm not going to use those. But same thing, just some isopropyl alcohol. This happens to be from Walmart. It's 91%. But I think that was the highest they had when I went to get it. Should use a little bit higher percentage, but you can get up to 99. I know a lot of people use that. So, but for me, 91 is good. We're going to keep that out while we're cleaning. That might be where that piece of plastic came from when we opened the system. Now, when I do this, I will say in the listing that it's been taken apart and cleaned and repaired, refurbished, whatever is a better word. Refurbished is a better word. But there's no reason we can't do this. While I'm thinking about it, unplug my soldering iron so it doesn't get hot anymore, too hot. Boy, this thing is filthy inside. But if you are able to say that it's seller refurbished or repaired or whatever you want to, however you want to word it, you might actually get a little bit more money for something because now they know somebody's actually been inside, got this thing working, and they don't necessarily have to know that I really don't know that much about this kind of thing. It's just that I have a curious mind and I like to take things apart, and most of the time, I know on this video series so far I've done okay, successful, but it's been easy stuff. This is the first soldering I've done, and although it wasn't the prettiest solder job, it got the job done, and I'm proud of it. Sitting there, it looks like it gets really hot in that area or something, or maybe it's just, no, it's factory. But that looks a lot better. It's not perfect. I'll get some cleaning on the outside. I'll do all that after the video's over, but I'm going to clean up in here a little bit because it's pretty rough. Isopropyl alcohol will not mess with your boards, and that's why I like to use it. And yet, somebody asked me about using it with battery corrosion. Vinegar does work, yes, but it's an acid, I believe. And I don't like the way it would possibly interact with the electronic circuitry and stuff like that. If you don't clean it off good enough. Isopropyl alcohol does not have bad reactions to this stuff, and it does a good job. So now if you got rust, I think vinegar would probably work better. But just for general battery corrosion and corrosion in general, isopropyl alcohol does a good job to clean it. It may not remove all of it, and you may have to go with something stronger. It's all clean in there. It's just dirty pretty much on the outside. Just giving it a little dust down up here, and checking the back side. While I have it off, it's easier to get into these little spots. All right, so remember how this thing goes together right here. Remember to slide the little ports in first. That'll drop in. Get your power button situated, which just sits over here. Okay, check A lot of people at this point will clean the eye, but since this is reading fine, I'm not going to mess with it. The more you touch that thing, the worse it could get. I will, though, take a little bit of... There's not much isopropyl left on here right now, but I'm just cleaning that spindle off. It looks a little dirty. But, all right. Well, forgot to put that little spacer back in, so we'll get that done. Pull the board back out real quick. This is a simple, easy task. Still a little dust in there, but people aren't really going to look in there, and it's not going to affect the playability of this thing, so I'm just going to leave it be. I don't want to... I could take this to the sink, and a lot of people would take it to the sink and clean it out that way. Just the plastic bits, not the actual electronic bits. You don't want to be doing that. So to put that back on, it just sets right down on, really. I mean, it's super simple. You can see if it'll snap down in. Take your screws that you took out. They're all the same size, so you don't have to worry about messing them up. I did take some out on the inside, though, didn't I? So those have to be replaced. Thanks for reminding me. I only took that one out. Be careful when you're taking this side off. It doesn't always like to come right away. We just took this one out, and it does look like they are all the same size, so I'll just steal one of those and put that back in there. Would help if I had a magnetic screwdriver, but these... Actually, this one's probably a Phillips, so I'm going to look for the one that is a Phillips. Could be any number of these. They all look the same to me. Here it is. Found it. So I do have a magnetic headed Phillips screwdriver, so we're going to find it and use it. This is actually I think this is my Phillips. I like them because you can just balance that right on there. And if this one isn't the right one, then I'll find the right one. Seems like it should be shorter. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it should be shorter. There it is. No, that's not it. So that isn't the right one, and I don't want to mess it up by putting it in there. So I gotta find a shorter screw, and if I can't find it, I'll just take it out of that other system. Actually, right there should be. Found it. Alright, now we'll do it. I usually try to remember to put my things in cups like that, but this time I didn't. Okay, that's tight. Now we'll put the lid back on. The spot there doesn't seem to be wanting to go down. That must be where it hangs up sometimes. So, it's hanging up right here in this corner. So let's see why that is. It might be the power button's probably not in right. That's why. Right, get that power button in right, and it should fit right on. It seems to be easier to come in from the power button side, hook that in, and then down. All right, we're good. Screws back in. And again, I like to crisscross just because I used to work at a tire place, and that's what we did. And I was told that was a good thing to do, so that's what I'm doing. It's probably a myth, at least on something like this, but it just seems to distribute the weight a little more evenly. Not the weight, but that one doesn't want to go in. There we go. Be careful putting it back in so you don't strip anything. Distribute the, it's just more even when you do it this way, across the thing, but I guess you probably don't have to. That's just the way I do it. I was not expecting this one to work, to be honest with you. This thing has been in my son's closet for, gosh, he's gone through an Xbox and a Xbox One, or Xbox 360 and an Xbox One since he's had this. He's 18 years old now. Oh, this one might go down in. Probably this daggone screwdriver. And these are not, this is not the right tip for these, so I'll have to try a different one here in a second. He's almost 19 years old now. And he would have had this one when he was really young. And I probably would have got it at a yard sale or something. I have picked up several in the last few weeks, most of them fats. They're listed on eBay if you guys are interested. Didn't have to do any repairing to them, just cleaning. That one just does not want to. The screwdriver that I'm using is not correct. So it's got to go down a little bit further. And hopefully I'm not ruining anything in there. I think I got it. Okay, so the next step is to put these back on. Get that dirty rag out of your way so you guys don't have to look at that. Two rubber ones on the corners. This corner and this corner, because there's supposed to be rubber ones here, which there's not. They're long gone. I probably have some somewhere. So we'll use all these plastic bits first, and then we'll see if we can find it. There's a rubber one there. Sometimes they need a little coaxing to go in. Find with a, you know, like if you got really nice little pinchers, you can get them pretty good. That's the other rubber one right there. That one went right down in. But they're designed to go around the top of the screw, so I don't know if you can see that, but they have little plastic arms there, and they're designed to go around the top of that screw. And even the rubber ones are the same way. And so they just hold down in there. And if we had the rubber ones, we'd get those in there too. Alright, let's get this quick outside clean. I lost my brush and I don't have a rag that looks good, but maybe I can use one of these. Oh boy, they are not clean. I should have prepared that part of the video, but I'm going to use them anyway because it's just cleaning up the outside of an old game system. It's not going to dirty. And I'm going to show you one little trick I learned online. That's where that old sticker was. It's going to be a hard time coming off, but we'll get it. Sorry about all that squeaky noise. It's because you're attached to my table. You're actually attached to my light pole with my GoPro. GoPro doesn't seem to be the greatest at filming this type of video, but I'm using it anyway because it's easy to use and it's good high definition quality. And it's the only camera I really like, so for any kind of video. I could use my phone camera, I guess. But this one, the ease of being able to put it places, because right now it's on the clamp. It's the same clamp I use to clamp it to my strap of my backpack when I'm out, out and about filming. And you can clamp it to things, and it works out real good. I'm just getting down in these little cracks here, because these are really fine, and I'm putting the cloth down in there, getting that. One of these videos I'm going to fail, and I'm going to fail miserably, but so far we're doing pretty good. A little bit more dirt right in that area. But I'll fail spectacularly, trust me. I guess that's how you say it, spectacularly. I could go around that Sony logo. The Slims do a little bit better, I think, on eBay than the Fats do, but I prefer the Fats. They seem to be to me, they seem to be a more stable system. Half the Slims I find just have issues. A lot of them won't read discs, and that little button I showed you back here, if you have a PlayStation that's not reading discs, take your finger and press right here, and then load your disc and see if it'll read. If it does, it's that little button back there, I've been told. I haven't yet tried to remove or replace one of those, but it does give issues. Alright, that's going to be about as good as that gets. The sides look me. This is what I sit in this office and do, right? I like to take things apart and If I could make this part a living where I take things apart and just to resell, I would. There's not as much money in it doing it this way, but when you get, and I would never buy off eBay to sell on eBay because it just, there's not going to be, to fix something, sometimes, generally, it's going to be too high a price to pay, but you can get these all day long for very cheap at yard sales if they don't work. And even if they, you know, even at 10 bucks or so, you can get them cheap. So it makes it a little bit more worth it. So the trick, this thing looks pretty good. It's cleaned up a lot better. But to get this shining real nice, and a lot of video games guys do this, is to put a little bit of WD-40 on this rag. And it's just regular WD-40. And then I just go, and this only works on black consoles, and it won't hurt the console. Just don't get it on the electronics on the inside. It can hurt that. But it'll just give it a nice little shine. I don't know if you can see that on camera, but that's shiny now. Then I like to take a different rag and wipe it down a little bit. YouTube has taught me a lot of weird little tricks and stuff like that, but the WD-40 won't clean it, but it will give it a nice shine. And I usually go over the bottom as well. I don't have to put too much more on the rag, or any for that matter, just as long as there's some. It does not take a lot. Don't be spraying your console down. This is the third one I've done today as far as cleaning like this. The other two didn't need any repairs, just needed a good clean. They were dirty. I didn't even have to take them apart, but I have some canned air that I'll use on the insides, and then I'll also use this electronics cleaner sometimes, depending on what the issue is. But today I didn't have to use any of that. The canned air I did a little bit, but I didn't even have to take those consoles apart. They were fairly clean, and they worked. And I got one for $4 and one for $5 at a yard sale. So, because they didn't come with any of the cords or anything like that. Okay, we're going to take the disc out. We're going to get a new rag. Maybe just a toothbrush a little bit and just clean the dust out of here. A little bit of isopropyl. Isopropyl is not going to hurt the eye, and in fact that's what most people use to clean the eyes, but the toothbrush may. So you don't want to get your toothbrush too close to that. I should have done this before I put the WD-40 on, but I forgot the inside here. And we're just cleaning her up. And we'll list this one on eBay tomorrow probably, because it's pretty late tonight. So let's see, I need a clean rag here. This one's not that clean, but it doesn't have any WD on it, so I would not put WD-40 on the inside of this thing, just in case. But on the outside of the console, it actually makes it look really nice. And the video game guys say that it does not hurt things, but it does give it a nice shine and a better presentation. I mean, it's pretty nice from what it did look like to what it looks like now. So this thing was filthy. And I could have done that on the inside, but it wouldn't make no difference on the inside of a console. So we're not going to do that. I also like to go over this with a little of that WD-40. I don't have any on there right now, but I will. So the last thing we're going to do is test this one more time, just to make sure that we didn't do anything wrong when we were putting it back together. And when I say we, I mean me. Alright, we got the red light, that's good. Get all this stuff put away. I am a messy person, so I try very hard to keep things clean, but I fail miserably. And that's why my room is a mess right now, so my wife's a little bit upset with me because we got company coming tomorrow. Alright, let's turn that on. Whoop, let's get a disconnect first. I always use a sacrificial disc. Nobody cares about med and whatever that is. So I watch it be the one that is or something. Turn the TV back on, and we're gonna check this out. You and me together, we'll check this out. And I have a cup of Joe here. TV takes a little bit to warm up. There we go. Madden. EA Sports. We're gonna start that over again just so you can see the whole load process. PlayStation 2. You get to that logo, you know at least you have a disc that console that is reading discs. Prior to that, if you don't get that, it goes into that browser thing, and you know it's not good. We're going to turn that off. And just so you know, it's the same system. There she is. Madden 11. All right. I think that's it. Put you out here. Oh, kind of a little goofy the way I got you right now, but that's okay. Anyway, guys, that's it. If you like what you saw, hit that like button, share, subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell notification if you like these videos and you want to know when I'm going to do some more. Thanks for watching. Y'all have a good day.